Welcome to Chapter 16 of our intermediate financial accounting class, Dilutive Securities. So you are an investor, congratulations, and you have $10 billion and a full head of hair. That's $10 billion more than I have and a lot more hair than I have. Congratulations to you. And you decide, hey, there's this fancy tech co, and they have 100 shares outstanding, and they're worth $100 billion. Why don't I use my $10 billion and buy 10% of the company by buying 10 shares? And that's just what you do. You buy 10 shares, 10 out of the 100 shares, and you now own 10% of this high-flying tech co. Now, you didn't realize, and you didn't do your due diligence. This is not a realistic example, of course, but let's just go with me on it. The tech co has 100 employees, and they all have what are called restricted stock units, and in fact, they vest tomorrow. Each of those employees is going to get one share of stock. Tomorrow, the company is going to issue one share to each of their 100 employees, and the company tomorrow goes from 100 shares to 200 shares outstanding because each employee got a share for being an early employee in the company. Now you still own your 10 shares, but unfortunately it's now 10 out of 200 shares. You own 5% of the company, and the company's still the same company. It's still just worth $100 billion. Well, you just got diluted, right? That's the terminology we use for when a company issues new shares and it reduces the relative value of each individual share. Now, there's a million contractual reasons why that wouldn't happen in real life, but the gist of it does happen, just not so severely. So employee stock option plans and employee restricted stock units, these types of things happen, and we'll learn to account for them this chapter. But it's not just the employees who can dilute the shareholders, it's also the debt holders. Lenders can dilute the shareholders. So we could have a 6% bond, or we could have a 6% convertible bond, and a convertible bond converts into shares. Not surprisingly, a 6% bond will typically sell for less than a convertible bond. There's a bit of a premium to have that option. If I'm a lender, say, okay, I'm lending you money. Oh, now I'm a shareholder, right? And having that option to convert has value. So typically a similar convertible bond will sell for a little bit more. In this case, $30 more. Now, this is a very interesting part of the course because it's a part where there's a significant departure between US GAAP and IFRS. IFRS says that extra $30, that's equity because you're paying $30 extra to get what could convert into shares. US GAAP says, no, that $30 extra, don't worry about it until they actually convert. I actually side with US GAAP on this, but if you're learning IFRS, you're going to need to learn to account for this as partial debt and partial equity all in one item. So it gets fairly complex. But the best way to learn anything in accounting is to practice, and that's just what we'll do. Stay tuned for our next video. Bye for now. The next video in our series is right up here, and if you want a supercut of all of the videos in this series, that's the one down below.